call to order. The governing board meeting is called to order at 5 p.m. Flag salute. Everyone please stand for the pledge. Ready to begin. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Right, roll call. Let the record reflect that all members of the governing board and administration are present with the exception of trustee Ahmad, who is absent. Approval of agenda. It is recommended that the governing board approve the agenda of the January 9th, 2023. I'm sorry, hold on. Yes, governing board meeting. You're not doing it?
I'll motion.
Prior to the start of the meeting, it was brought to my attention that the party involved with the appeal of findings regarding complaint that has asked for the item to be rescheduled and to be considered at next month's meeting. In accommodation of the request, I move to approve the agenda, striking the last 3 items listed for closed session as following. Appeal of findings regarding complaint against employees pursuant of WP/AR 1312.1 and governing code section 54957. Appeal of findings of regarding UPC complaint pursuant of WP/AR 1312-2 and education code section 135146. And the conference with legal counsel, anticipated litigation, significant exposure to litigation pursuant to paragraph 2 or 3 of subdivision D of section 54956.9, one potential case appeal of complaints. And additionally, action item 17A will not be considered at this meeting. Rather, the item will be considered then at the next governing board meeting on February the 14th, 2023, when the matter is considered. Do I have a motion, Jason?
Yeah, I'll motion.
Thank you, trustee Jason. And then we have, do I have a second motion to approve the agenda with the suggested revision? Awesome. Thank you. All right. And is there any discussion on the item? All right, with no discussion on the item, we will move to approve the agenda as revised. All in favor?
Aye.
All right, and I vote aye. The motion passed 4-0. All right, approval of the minutes. Approval of December 12th, 2022 regular meeting minutes. Is there a motion to approve the minutes?
Motion.
Thank you, trustee Fuchs. Do I have a second?
I'll second.
Thank you, trustee John. Now, is there any discussion on the item? No? All right, thank you. With no discussion on the item, we will move to approve the item. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Aye. And any noes? No. I vote aye, and the motion passes with a 4-0 vote. Governing board comments. Mr. John, would you start with this?
Oh, sure. I'll start with a happy new year to everybody and a merry belated Christmas. Hopefully everyone got some rest. In education, we get the joy of having to start something new twice, right? It's the beginning start of the school year, and that's had a lot of energy and buzz. And then kind of get grinding, and then you get to Christmas, you hopefully rejuvenate. Now you get a new calendar year. So hopefully everyone made some good resolutions and ready to break them in the next week or two. But I want to thank just all the associations, our staff, our schools, just providing a safe and healthy place for our students and the community. So I just want to reiterate just the blessings we have as a small but mighty district to do all those things. So I want to encourage everyone that we're halfway done. So the second half is what determines the results of a game. So let's hopefully everyone can be recharged to ready, finish strong, and come back with just a strong energy to go forward. Just looking forward to the science camps coming up. I know that we make it a point to support all our students going to the science camps. I hope it won't be too snowy because the weather's kind of crazy, but hopefully they'll be able to go and enjoy that, and looking forward to how the response we get from that. And just again, stay dry because it's going to be crazy coming forward. So that's all I have to say today.
Thank you, Trustee Gary.
Thank you, Madam President. Well, first off, Happy New Year to everybody. I want to thank everybody that worked through the winter break, that took turns working in and out. So I appreciate all the work that was done. Because not everybody does that all the time, but for those that did and continue to do it, thank you very much. That is much appreciated, and that helps our district continue to move forward. So like I said, hopefully everybody had a good break, had some family time, rested as well. I know our family did. Same, for the first time in so many years, I took the winter break off for a week, and it was really nice to be home with my daughters and spend that family time. So hopefully everybody did the same. Had a few highlights in December. Had the opportunity to go to Pendleton and see the winter concert with the little ones. It was so nice to see them sing, because like I always say, I can't sing, so seeing somebody else that can sing is always awesome. And also I had the opportunity to join Jamboree. They had a nice Biker Santa Christmas celebration. I want to thank Dr. Simonowski for working with Pendleton closely, because 20 of those students were selected and were given some presents. So that brightened their holiday a little bit. So thank you, Dr. Simonowski, for that work. I really appreciate it. And other than that, not much happened, and that concludes my report.
Thank you, Trustee Brennan.
Hello, everyone. I just want to wish everyone a happy new year and happy holidays. I mean, I hope everyone is well rested. I know it was really rainy during the holiday season. I know it was very flooded, and I hope it was very nice for everyone to be with their family and friends. I'm looking forward to visiting the school sites, especially now that the holiday season is coming to a close. And I do look forward to meeting everybody and having a chance just to visit these sites. And I'm looking forward to everyone finishing up the last part of the semester. I know this is a little bit of the hardest part, since finals are coming up and like it's about to come to a close, but I know we can finish strong, and thank you to everybody.
Thank you. And I want to also wish everybody a happy new year for this year. And I hope everyone also enjoyed their time off with their family and friends. I wanted to say how thankful I am that I am retired, because it enabled me to be able to go to all 7 of our sites and see all the beautiful things that were going on during December. And so I was, there were 2 things I wanted to mention. Every site was different and beautiful, but one had, they had some singing, and they had 5th graders introduce the 2 songs that they were going to sing. And they had the 3 of them say it in 3 different languages, tell us what songs they were. So I was so impressed and happy to see that cultures being reflected in our schools. And then another one was, an RSP teacher had her engineers draw a plan to make the tallest 3D structure. And she had them build it with toothpicks, gumballs, and marshmallows. So she made something fun and holiday out of their lesson. And so I thought that was a great idea. I saw people working during the break, but as our trustee has already said, it was already raining. So I'm interested to see how much of the modernization we got completed during the break, because I know we were working on that. And I'm also looking forward to the kids going to outdoor science camp and continuing the Kinder Kindness Art Week. I think that's going to be fantastic. I'm looking forward to that also. Thank you. Dr. Miramontes.
Yeah, first of all, happy new year to everybody. I'm looking forward and taking the playbook out of Mr. Chong and Mr. Frutos there. Looking forward to the second half of the school year. I'm excited for our students to be back in session. I think our families are excited for kids to come back to school as well. I'm hopeful that our staff that was on vacation had some time to rest and relax, and super thankful for those that stayed back and worked. Well, I do want to thank our maintenance and operations group that monitored all our classrooms over the break. We did have one classroom that had a flood, It had nothing to do with roofing. It was a pipe that burst in the classroom, but the M&O staff, the principal and the teacher took care of it. Well, they took care of it, but 4 kids came back. Yeah, everything looked like it was back to normal. And we are getting set up for science camp for next week. And I want to thank our board for making that commitment. Mrs. Estrada, just so you know, this board is committed to sending kids up to science camp at no cost to any family member. And it's a huge commitment, and we've got the funds now. And so it's important to have kids have this opportunity.
Caught in the rain wherever she's coming.
Beatty and Bonaparte Middle School to the same camp next week for 4 days. So hopefully we'll have some great weather. I'm hoping that it stops raining and it just, you know, snow on the mountains. But we're looking forward to that. And I do want to thank our board members for your commitment to our and dedication to our school community. January is school board recognition month, so thank you for all that you guys do. Trustee Ahmad could not be here today, but she did send something that she would like me to read to the group. So I'm going to read this on behalf of Trustee Ahmad. Good evening, everyone. Wishing you all a happy new year and a great year ahead. It saddens me that I'm unable to attend today's meeting. Personal family obligations have come up, and I'm sorry in advance if for the next few months I'm not able to visit sites or participate in events as much as I used to. But I want to take this opportunity to thank the Beatty staff, especially Miss Dawn, for their quick thinking and professional in treating my niece, who attends Beatty Middle School right before winter break. She had an allergic reaction to something, and if it wasn't for Miss Dawn, we don't know what could have happened. The whole office staff was so supportive and informative. I'm so proud of them and all our health clerks because I know this is something they do daily. Thank you for all the heroes in our schools. We can't ever repay you for all the great things you do for the students of this district. And I just want to echo Mrs. Ahmad when we say we've got lots of heroes. Every member of our staff is a hero each and every day. And pretty soon, as you mentioned, Kindergarten Kindness is coming up. You're going to see some hero capes, some kindergarten heroes coming up. I don't know, 350 heroes that will spread kindness throughout the school sites. And I'm looking forward to that here in January. And that is my report.
Thank you. And programs and reports, Dr. Miramontes?
Yes, I have the facilities modernization update. Mr. Mike Magbu, Mr. Anderson, and Mr. Tim Spencer from TeleQ will present the updated report.
Good evening, how's it going? Nice to see everybody, and we have a quick update today that we just want to give everyone on basically what happened over winter break. I know a lot of people were curious about what happened with the weather, and we have really good news to report. Luckily, the weather did not affect us as much as it did at other sites. So we'll go into detail on that. So for today, I just like to go over just what we did at the NPRs, a schematic drawing for a potential new gymnasium at Beatty. So I'm sure Dr. Miramontes has updated the board on some of the things that we're looking at with the city, Pendleton admin, and then just where we are at the playgrounds. So the first thing for the NPRs, over the winter break, we're able to install the nano walls, the storefront, and the tack board. That was completed just with the exception of some minor punch list items. We do have the contractor coming back after hours just to tidy up some things and mainly replace some edging that we didn't sign off on and just make sure that it's 100% wrapped up, but it's substantially completed and in operation. The tables and benches, we are on track for those to be installed over spring break. We're actually anticipating getting those a little bit sooner. We're going to hold on to them when the kids are out. We'll take advantage of that opportunity to put the benches in and have the NPRs wrapped up. I know that's been one of our big supply chain issue projects, along with the playground material, but we're getting that thing wrapped up, and it's good to have the nano walls and storefront done because now it looks like a more completed project. So the next would be a schematic drawing that you'll see here is just really, we asked the architect to put together what a potential new gymnasium would look like at Beatty Middle School. Looking at the space that we have just adjacent to our new athletic facility. We're looking at creating a single gym with a small set of bleachers that did have some classroom spaces attached to it. That the city and the school can use for learning. So this is a potential design that we move forward with. And then I know Mike had some more to add to that.
Yeah, so we are partnering up with the city on this job, and the city's taking the schematic design to their board at the end of this month. And we will move on for that. This is not something that's gonna happen this summer, but we're expecting to happen over summer of 2024, should everything fall into place.
And then the next slide is just a rendering of what that gymnasium could look like. Again, this is just a schematic drawing or rendering, just planning to move forward what we could do with that space. And how to best utilize the campus and create a gymnasium there. Next, over at Pendleton, we are on track for substantial completion for March 31st. And we got really lucky that we did complete the roofing prior to our major rain event. So the admin building was dried in and the rain did not impact the construction because everything that we were doing was interior, and the roof and the building wrap was completed. So we got really lucky there. One of the hiccups were the supplier for the tables and benches that we were planning on installing over winter break. We found out about 2 days before the delivery date that the supplier did not send those. So we're currently working with them right now to get a new date on that, and we'll work with the sites on when we can get that completed. So unfortunately, the sum is out of our hands, the shipping and the manufacturer. We had a confirmation date from them to get them right before the winter break, and the manufacturer didn't come through.
I do want to thank Sandy Poteet and her staff, because we knew that we may have rain, right? We needed to buy additional lunch tables. So we purchased lunch tables prior to, I want to say Thanksgiving, right? And so the cafeterias are, even though we don't have the main cafeteria tables that are supposed to be in the walls, kids do have a safe, dry place to be a part of during this time. So hopefully we get those soon.
Yeah, that was one of our plan Bs that we came up with prior to even starting construction. Unfortunately, we had to implement plan B due to, supply chain problems. The nano walls and storefronts at that site are on schedule to be installed during spring break. They're being fabricated as we speak, and we'll get those installed when we have the break with no students on campus. So the next slide is just some photos. This is where we stood last week. I know there's been some work being completed since these photos were taken. As you can see, there's a lot of water on that photo on the left, but on the interior, drywall is going in, and we'll be wrapping up drywall inspection. Hopefully mid next week, we get final inspection on drywall, and then we can rock and roll in the finishes on the interior. Next slide at Corey Playground. The contractor is requesting that we look at an alternative manufacturer for the turf. I'm waiting on getting some data from the new manufacturer. Because of supply chain, we've been told 3 different dates on when we're going to have the turf, and they keep getting pushed back. So we're looking at alternative methods now to complete that. We can't put the playground equipment in until we have the turf. And then once we get the confirmation of the turf, either by the original manufacturer or an approval from the district for the second manufacturer, it's about a 3-week from start to finish completion. And as soon as we know that date that we'll get the turf, we will start with the demolition and construction. The original plan was to start the demolition at Corey a week prior to the original date of delivery. And we decided not to do that because we weren't confident that we were going to get the material. If we would have done that, then the current playground would still be out and not operational. So unfortunately, with that delay, it isn't impacting the operation of that space. So we'll have more information as soon as we get the data and the cut sheets. We'll review that second manufacturer, and if that is approved, we'll get a new date to you on the progress of construction for Corey. And that was really it, is in a nutshell, unless you guys have any questions about where we're at with the current projects.
So I've asked Mike Maglu to put together a timeline of the Beatty Gymnasium, so the board can actually see from start to finish. Part of that is going to be asking the board to accelerate and the release of some bond money that Sandy's been working with our financial advisors loan sometime here in March. So we'll have some additional money to be able to do the gymnasium, even though we're not gonna start, there are some other projects that we could set aside. You know, that roofing is gonna be a big piece, and I mentioned plumbing. You know, these things are outdated, so the opportunity to start having a conversation about an additional bond is something we may want to look at coming out. And we could have the financial advisors come out and talk to us about that, what that will look like to our community, and take a survey, so they could work with us all along the way if the board is interested in doing that. You know, it's we've managed the bond well. We've done a lot of projects. I think our community is pretty proud of what we've been doing, but there are still a lot of other things that go beyond the scope of our bond projects. I think it was $200 million worth of projects originally when they first put out what the $71 million was for. And as the cost of escalation was up, that $71 million isn't really $71 million, right? So something that we may have to look to bring back sometime in February or March to discuss a little bit more about the options. Should we go out for a bond in 2024, Sandy, what we're talking about? So a whole year, but there's some surveys that you asked the community about. Let me see if our finances can afford it. We don't want to burden our taxpayers. And we're in a good place right now. At least the last meeting we had with our financial advisors. We're in a good place. I am excited about the gymnasium. I know that we've got a wonderful partnership with the city. They're excited as well. Where again, nothing is formalized. These are informal agreements, right? When it comes down to, again, we'll have to see the hard cost and soft costs of the gymnasium. And then we just have to move forward. We have to start the conversations now if we want this gym to be built as soon as possible. Any questions for our team?
And I think also too, in regards to the gym, we have to, I know this is still early on, but as far as usage of the gym, because I know there's been times in the past where we try to use the, middle school gym. And because of the after school hours, there's no days in place that we can possibly use in case we need it for our use. We have to be able to trade in some days, right? So we got to look at all those logistics too, because I don't want it to be, they get it more than we get it. I mean, even though, during the school day, it's here, not every day they're inside the gymnasium. So we got to work out different factors in regards to how that's going to be utilized. So we can have some flexibility after hours as well.
And I think one of the things, so I will say that every day the gym is used. Those PE teachers love the gym. So that one group, not every kid's always in there, but a group of students who play volleyball or basketball in the gymnasium, and they love it. And I would agree. And I think what it comes down to is proper planning, Jerry.
Right.
And we've really tasked our administrators to look forward. Okay, if you're gonna have a Halloween dance, when do you have to have that? So we let the city know. If you're gonna have a parent meeting, when are you gonna do? The fact that we have the music center allows us to have an additional parent meeting room. Should we need a parent meeting room? But we'll look at student activities after school. We have to really plan forward and think, okay, where do we want to be right now? And where do we want to be 6 months in advance? And between now and 6 months, what are the activities that we need to have in place? But yeah, we can definitely talk to the city about giving some flexibility. If we want it every Wednesday, we want it every Friday. I'm sure they would probably work with us on those pieces. I don't want the burden of managing the scheduling part. That's the hard part, right? Because that's where you have to tell people, and we've had to do that. We've had to last minute things that we need the gym, and they've been able to sort of move people off and cancel community center basketball practices because we actually have to have the gym because, but that's been very far and few between. I don't like to do that too often. But Jim Box and Dale have been fantastic about moving things around for us. We just need to make sure that we have, schedules and we plan forward.
Yeah, I think flexibility is a big key in that conversation. Just have that flexibility, it helps out. Because what if one of our schools wants to do something on a Saturday?
Yeah.
Right? We want to have the flexibility to use it on weekends as well, just not Monday to Friday, because not everything can be done Monday to Friday. So looking at that aspect as well will help out.
Absolutely. Any other
Thank you.
questions, comments?
Yeah.
Thank you.
Thank you.
I was speaking about how supply chain issues are out of your hands, but I want to thank you guys for having backup plans. You know, just like, you had backup plans for the tables. And, I remember Mike telling us about the backup plans for the spectrum at Pendleton, so we really appreciate that looking forward.
Yeah.
Planning. All right. Hearing session.
No, governing board recognition.
Oh, all right.
But it's almost one and the same people that are gonna come up, are part of that here, we'll have. Yeah, really, this is our time to honor you guys. And for three of you, we've been together since I first started, right? So 4 years, and so. It seems like, you know, I spend more time with you guys than I do with my own family. And I mean that over the phone and everything else, and this one over here as well as a governance team. We've done some amazing things, and we continue to do amazing things. Brandon, you're welcome to the family. You know, I look forward to you being a part of the team. And there's nothing more noble than serving on a school board. I know that all of you have the best intentions and aren't using this to grandstand or for your next move, but should you want that next move, you definitely would be great candidates for it. I'm hoping to keep my board intact as it is as long as I can. But with that being said, we do have some members here from our school community that would like to say a few things. I'll start with Carol Bright, our BPTA president. Carol?
Thank you. Good evening. In celebration of School Board Recognition Month, Buena Park Teachers Association would like to recognize the contributions to public education made by the members of the Buena Park School District's Board of Education. Our community is shaped in part by these individuals who have come together on our school board with the shared goal of helping students grow and learn through their educational experiences. They are extraordinary people who voluntarily tackle the enormous job of governing our school district and do so in a manner that illustrates what it means to be an incredible advocate for our students. Buena Park Teachers Association would like to take this opportunity to acknowledge the board members who take the time to share their leadership and work with Buena Park Teachers Association members to provide students with the tools they need to write their own unique futures. Thank you for your time and dedication to our students and our community. We do have a little, do I give it to them now?
Yeah, yeah.
We have a little thing for each of you. Of course, I pulled Carl's first. Who do I give one?
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
And welcome, Brenda. Thank you so much. No, they're not
Thank you. Thank you, Mrs.
It's still
Bright.
appreciated. Thank you.
Okay, it is.
From-
Okay, good.
From our CSA classified staff members, CSCA President Lori Cannon. Lori?
Hi, everybody. I did not prepare a speech, but just to keep it short and simple. As most families do, we all show our appreciation and love by food. I did not get into the kitchen today, so don't worry, you don't have to eat my cooking. But I do have a little something for you. You can make it on your own, and just know that when you do make it, that CSCA appreciates you. And it's our way of appreciating and showing our cultivated, I guess I'm losing my word, but cultivated relationships that we've mended and have begun to grow again.
And I'm gonna add to that, since there are 5 of you, for the next 5 months, you can bake it, whatever you have to, bring it to our closed session. So it's not every month, somewhere March, April, May, all the way through, so thank you guys.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Cannon. And from our Buena Park Management Organization, Mrs. Michelle Centeno, our Director of Curriculum Instruction.
Good evening, Board President Shed, board members, Superintendent Dr. Minamontes, Executive Cabinet, and our esteemed guests. Buena Park School District is proud to join districts across the county and state in recognizing the valuable contributions of our board during the month of January, which is for School Board Recognition Month. Our board members are a vital link between our district and our community. You help develop the vision for our district, and you champion the efforts that benefit students, staff, and the entire Buena Park learning community. On behalf of the Buena Park Leadership Organization, we'd like to present each of you with this recognition of appreciation for all of your service and commitment to Buena Park School District. Thank you.
Gracias.
Like to see her. Once again, thank you, Mrs. Centeno and team, and thank you, governing board members for all that you do for our community.
Thank you. I think I speak for all of us when we say not that we feel appreciated. And we really do consider this an honor and a privilege to serve our district. And we're very thankful for each other to work with as a team and for all of you and what you bring to our district. Thank you again. And then hearing session.
There are no public comments tonight.
Okay. Okay, action calendar. Inter-district transfer request 223 SASOTK. It is recommended that the governing board uphold the denial of inter-district transfer request 2223 SASOTK. Is there a motion to approve upholding the denial of this transfer?
Motion.
Okay, thank you, trustee Frutos. And do I have a second?
I'll second.
Thank you, trustee Chong. And with no, is there any discussion? With no discussion on the item, we will move to approve the item. All in favor? And I'm also an aye. So the motion passes 4-0. Inter-district transfer request 2223 ALAM 1. It is recommended that the governing board uphold the denial of inter-district transfer request 2223 ALAM 1. Is there a motion to approve the upholding the denial of this transfer request?
A motion.
Okay, thank you, trustee Chung. And do I have a second? Second. Thank you, trustee Estrada. Is there any discussion on that item? With no discussion on the item, we will move to approve the item. All in favor?
Aye.
Any noes? I'm also I vote aye. So the motion passes 4-0 vote. Acceptance of the 21-22 Buena Park School District Audit Report. Is recommended that the governing board review and accept the audit report dated June 30th. Dr. Miramontes.
Yeah, I'd like to turn it over to Sandy Poteet, our Chief Financial Officer.
Good evening. Tonight we have for you your the audit report. I'm going to ask our auditor from Christie White and Associates to come up and go over the report with you.
So before we start, I do want to make sure that we there's one adjustment in this audit report that was posted the night before. We had the wrong number of school sites. We had 6 elementary, 1 middle school, or 1 junior high school. And now we have, of course, 5 elementary school sites and 2 middle schools. So that was noted and will be changed. So when we approve this, we'll make that change. And in addition, we also have the president as Mr. Jerry Frutos, because it was last year, correct, we're looking at, and Rhodey as the clerk pro tem, and then Thara and Jason as members. And Mrs. Estrada was a member last year, but that will be reflected in the report as well. So just note those.
You have a corrected page in front of you that, and we will be getting new bound copies, but for tonight, you do have a corrected page inserted. It's page 63.
Thank you, Ms. Cook.
Well, good evening. Like I mentioned, my name is Natalie Palma and I am an audit supervisor with Christie White Associates. I sort of help facilitate the audit throughout the year. So I thought I'd start off by going over a little overview, some of our procedures, things we took a look at, some of our testing items, and then some of the results of the audit. So in 2022, we have conducted our audit of the district fund, capital assets, long-term debt, and compliance with both state and federal compliance laws. Our audit covers a broad range of areas. We do school site testings, which includes testing of attendance. We document and test internal controls in areas such as purchasing, cash disbursements, by taking a look at checks, invoices, and purchase orders. We take a look at payroll by taking a look at time cards and personnel files. And we also take a look at cash receipts by taking a look at invoices, receipts, and any deposits. We also conducted a single audit, which includes testing internal controls and program compliance for 2 major programs this year. The 2 major programs were tested were Title I Part 8 and the Education Stabilization Funds, or the GEAR ESSER funds. Like I mentioned, we also tested state compliance in such areas as instructional materials, admin teacher ratio, the school accountability report cards, unduplicated local control funding formulas. We took a look at some lunch applications and make sure that they were all filled out correctly, and followed compliance laws. Finally, we tested all June 30th, 2022 balance sheet accounts, such as cash, accounts receivables, accounts payable, capital assets, and long-term debt, with revenue and expenditures across all district funds by taking a look at bank statements and reconciliations, debt statements, and capital asset listings. On page 74 of the audit report, you'll find our financial statement opinion, our state compliance opinion, and our federal compliance opinion, which were all unmodified, which is the best opinion that you can get. So congratulations on that. There were no financial statements or federal compliance or state compliance findings or adjustments. A little financial overview. There's a note that I put that there's a long-term obligation. Activities have decreased by about 24.8 million from 1920. So in the last 2 years, it has decreased. That's not all that I had. I did want to thank everyone, especially Sandy and everyone at the district. A lot of our audit has been done virtually this year, and I know it's not easy getting all our requests and scanning them all in. So I do want to thank everyone for that. If anyone has any questions for me.
I just want to state, thanks for bringing up Dr. Mamoto as far as the correction. It might seem small, but at the end of the day, it's a big thing, because we're putting this public, and we don't want to have the mistrust of the public when we are posting such big document for everybody to see. So
Definitely. And like Sandy mentioned, you will be getting new bound copies sent within the next week or so to reflect that change.
Thank you. No findings is always good, right?
Yeah.
Great. Thank you for your
Thank
time.
you. Thank you so much for your time. Have a good evening.
You too. Is there any, well, let's see, is there a motion to approve upholding? I'm sorry, hold on.
Yep.
Accepting the audit, right? All right, so is there a motion to accept the audit report with the noted corrections on page 63?
I'll make a motion to accept the audit report.
Thank you, trustee Chong. And do I have a second?
I'll second.
Thank you, trustee Estrada. Is there any discussion on the item?
I just want to make sure that we get this updated document as soon as possible, so it can be brought forward to the board so we can re-review it.
I have the electronic copy already of the corrected copy. I can forward that to you.
You can send it through the final report.
But in that, that's as far as the discussion I have for that.
All right. Okay, with no further discussion. All in favor?
When I,
Okay, any noes? And I'm an aye, so the motion passes 4-0. Approval of the 2022-23 single school plans for student achievement. It's recommended that the governing board approve the 22-23 single school plans for student achievement for Beatty Middle School, Buena Park Middle School, Quarry Elementary, Emory Elementary, Gilbert Elementary, and Pendleton and Whitaker Elementary School. Dr. Miramonte?
Yeah, I want to thank our school sites for putting these together and working with the school site councils. I want to thank Sari Wang for working with our administrators. And I want to thank Dr. Kian too for working with her in-service team to review these before they came forward to the board. I'm asking the board to accept this school plans as they are.
Is there a motion to approve the 2022-23 single school plans for student achievement?
Motion.
Thank you, trustee Frutos. And do I have a second?
I'll second.
Okay, thank you, trustee Chong. Okay, any discussion? Okay, with no discussion, we will move to approve the item. All in favor?
Aye.
Thank you. Any noes? I vote aye, and the motion passes 4-0 vote. Approval to release the release and publicize the 2022-23 school accountability report cards. It is recommended that the governing board approve to release and publicize the 2022-23 school accountability report cards for Quarry Elementary, Emory Elementary, Gilbert Elementary, Pendleton Elementary, Whitaker Elementary, Beatty Middle School, and Buena Park Middle School. Dr. Miramontes?
Again, I want to thank the Ed Service staff under the leadership of Dr. Yvette Kim too. As you're well aware, these are done in 3-year increments. Dr. Kim, is there anything else you want to add to it?
I would like to thank all of our site leadership teams and their guiding coalitions and their school site council members for taking care to make sure that the information is not only valid, but correct. And also I'd like to give a special thanks to the site leaders for making sure that they updated, especially their parent participation, because we know that one of the things that as our parents are looking for strong schools, parent participation is one of the things that they're most interested in.
Thank you. Is there a motion to approve the 22-23 school accountability report cards?
Motion.
Thank you, trustee Estrada. Do I have a second?
Second.
Thank you, trustee Frutos. Is there any discussion on the item? All right, with no discussion on the item, we will move to approve the item. All in favor?
Aye.
Any noes? I'm also an aye, so the motion passes 4-0. Adoption of resolution number 22-15. Resolution to affirm the intent for continued funding of the California Department of Education's California State Preschool Program to provide child development services for the fiscal year of 23-24. It is recommended that the governing board adopt resolution number 22-15, resolution to affirm Buena Park School District's intent for continued funding of the California Department of Education's California State Preschool Program within the Buena Park School District. Dr. Miramontes.
Yeah, I'm super excited about this opportunity for our students of preschool age. I read an article this weekend about the opportunities to expand preschool programs and how districts can do that. And I feel like we're already ahead of the game. We doubled our sizes last year, and there's a wait list. There's a wait list. Unfortunately, we've got a wait list of families that want to come into our preschool classrooms. And even offering preschool from 6 to 6 a.m. or 6 a.m. to 6 p.m. 2 and 3-year-olds. That's fantastic. This resolution basically tells the state that we're still interested and we'd like that $1.5 million to come to us for the 23-24 school year.
Is there a motion to adopt resolution number 22-15?
Motion.
Thank you, trustee Estrada. Do I have a second?
I'll second.
Thank you, trustee Chong. Is there any discussion on the item? All right, with no discussion on the item, we will move to approve the item with a roll call vote. Okay, trustee Ahmad is absent, so we'll go straight to trustee Chong.
Yes, I,
Trustee Frutos.
Aye.
Trustee Estrada. Thank you. I vote aye, so the motion passes with a 4-0 vote. Approval of certificated management substitute salary schedule. It is recommended that the governing board approve the certificated management substitute salary schedule as presented in the supporting document. Dr. Miramontes.
Yeah, I'm gonna turn this over to Mr. Harrison. We'll talk about the rationale why we're going back to why we're bringing this back to the board. Mr. Harrison?
Good evening, President Shedd and members of the governing board. Last year, during the midst of COVID concerns, we found that in order to meet the needs of our substitute teacher coverage, we needed to increase the compensation for those substitute teachers that were willing to serve regularly. We also created a short-term pay for substitute administrators to meet the specialized needs of some of our departments at that time. That salary schedule ended in June, as it was a short-term schedule. And after reviewing the compensation offered in surrounding districts, we believe that the new salary schedule presented here this evening will allow us to meet our district's ongoing needs. This could occur anytime that we may have somebody's out for an extended leave or in transitional periods. So this is a compensation piece for that specifically. Are there any questions?
Thank you. Is there a motion to approve the certificated management substitute salary schedule?
Motion.
Thank you, trustee Frutos. And do I have a second?
I'll second.
Thank you, trustee Estrada. Is there any discussion on the item? With no discussion on the item, we will move to approve them. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Thank you. And I am an aye also with no discussion. The motion passes 4-0. And approval to purchase doors, locks, locking mechanisms, construction materials, supplies, and services from Montgomery Hardware Company via CMAS California Multiple Award Schedules contracts. And it is recommended that the governing board give approval to purchase doors, locks, locking mechanisms, construction materials, supplies, and services from Montgomery Hardware Company via the CMAS contracts. Dr. Miramontes.
This is a way to procure our that's what I'm looking for. Way to procure the materials that we need at the I won't say the cheapest, but the least bid process. And the turn over to Mr. Mike Magwood. The next two are very similar. So Mr. Magwood?
These bid essentially considered piggyback bids in the state of California. The procurement process and law allows us to follow piggyback bids from other through the state or through other school districts or other government agencies. So this bid and the next one coming up for a technology bid are both piggyback documents. And this allows us to go to bid quickly or go out to procure equipment quickly without having to do a formal bid.
Thank you. Is there a motion to approve the purchase of materials, supplies, and services from Montgomery Hardware Company?
a motion.
Thank you, trustee Chong. Do I have a second? Thank you, trustee Frutos. Any discussion on the item? Okay, without discussion, we will move to approve the item. All in favor?
Aye.
Thank you. And I vote aye also, so the motion passes with a 4-0 vote. Approval to purchase technology supplies, equipment, software, and services from CDW Government, LLC, via the piggyback clause of the Irvine Unified School District's bid number 19-20-01 IT, technology, equipment, and peripheral agreement extension. It is recommended that the governing board give approval to purchase technology supplies, equipment, software, and services from CDW Government LLC via the piggyback clause for Irvine Unified School District's agreement for bid number 19/20-01 IT. Dr. Miramontes.
Yeah, Mr. Magwood talked about the piggybackable bid. So we're asking the board to approve this Purchase of technology supplies, equipment, software from CWD.
I'll
Is
motion
that-
to approve of the purchase technology supplies.
Thank you, trustee Chong. And do I have a second? Thank you, trustee Estrada. Is there any discussion on the item? All right, no discussion on the item. We will move to approve the item. All in favor?
I,
I am also an aye, so the motion passes 4-0. Approval to award the 2022 HVAC multi-zone thermostats, components and service bid to Diversified Thermal Services Incorporated. It is recommended that the governing board award the 2022 HVAC multi-zone thermostats, components and service bid to Diversified Thermal Services Incorporated. Dr. Miramontes.
Yeah, we're excited to get this work started. This is, as we know, we've had some issues with our HVAC system, especially when it comes to multi-zone areas, and we've got this money set aside, and we've gone through the bid process, and we'll look forward to having Diversified Thermal Services provide the work for us as soon as the board approves this, or pending the board's approval, I should say.
All right, is there a motion to award the 2022 HVAC multi-zone thermostats components service bid to Diversified Thermal Service Incorporated?
Motion.
Thank you, trustee Frutos. And do I have a second?
I'll second.
Thank you, trustee Chong. Is there any discussion on the item? All right, with no discussion on the item, we will move to approve the item. All in favor?
Aye.
Okay, I'm also an aye. The motion passes with a 4-0 vote. Then we have approval to award proposal for E-rate category 1, wide area network services for E-rate year 2023 to Spectrum Enterprises. It is recommended that the governing board award the proposal agreement for E-rate category 1 wide area network services for E-rate year 2023 to Spectrum Enterprise, subject to E-rate funding for E-rate year 2023. Dr. Miramontes.
Yeah, I want to thank Mike Magbu and his staff who worked alongside with CSM. They're the consultants that worked through with us for E-rate. And you can see in the exhibit, there's quite a big difference of cost savings from 211,000 to 163,000. But it's not just the lowest bidder. We also use a select criteria to make sure we've got the best. The cheapest isn't always the best, right? But the best services for our students. So I want to thank Mr. Magbu for working through that. And the game plan is pending board approval. We will have services for, like we had at Pendleton for AT&T, and an overlapping time with Spectrum for all the other districts across all the other schools across the district.
Thank you. Is there a motion to award the proposal for E-rate category 1 wide area network services for E-rate year 2023 to Spectrum Enterprises?
Motion.
Thank you, trustee Estrada. Do I have a second?
I'll second.
Thank you, trustee Chong. Any discussion on the item? Right, without discussion on the item, we will move to approve the item. All in favor?
Aye.
Thank you. I vote aye, so the motion passes with 4-0 vote. And the consent calendar. Unless a trustee has a question concerning a particular item and asks that it be withdrawn from the consent calendar, the items are approved at one time by the governing board. So, do you have anything to remove, trustee Chong?
I have nothing to read.
Okay, trustee Petros?
Yep, everything.
Thank you. All right, no items to be withdrawn. Is there a motion?
Motion.
Thank you, trustee Frutos. And do I have a second?
I'll second.
Thank you, trustee Estrada. I vote also aye, so the motion passes with a 40-0 vote. And
Didn't answer the vote.
say it again.
Didn't answer the vote.
Oh, I didn't ask for the vote. I am sorry. So let's move to approve the consent calendar. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
All right. And then I am also an aye. Thank you. Motion passes 4-0. All right, information and correspondence, Dr. Miramontes.
Yeah, two things here. The first is the Williams settlement legislation for Q2, October 1st to December 31st. We have no complaints. were filed with the district. And then the second one is the exciting piece of bringing back our, getting back into the swing of things here with our board meetings, the Boys School report coming up at the next board meeting, along with the Bonaparte Early Learning Program for Mrs. Mary Beckelheimer. And then, of course, we'll end it with the Every Student Succeeding recognition led by Dr. Simonovsky to celebrate our students and the triumphs they have had over the last 6 months.
All right, thank you. And closed session then. Conferences with Dr. Ramon Miramontes, Superintendent of the Buena Park School District. Labor Relations, Buena Park Teachers Association, Government Reference Code number 5457-6. Labor Relations, California School Employee Association, chapter number 569. Government Conference Code number 54957.6. Labor Relations, Non-Represented Management and Confidential Contract Employees, Government Code number 54957.6. Public Employee Discipline / dismissal or release. Appeal of findings. Oh, that's part was deleted. Okay, so you know what? Hold on. The last 3 items were deleted. So that is it. Is there a motion to go into closed session?
Motion.
Thank you, trustee Frutos. And do I have a second?
Second.
Thank you, trustee Estrada. And I vote yes. So the motion passes. We need a vote. All right, all in favor?
Aye.
All right, thank you. I vote aye, so it passes 4-0. Thank you. Governing board meeting is called into closed session at 5:56. Hmm. Right. Reporting out of, I'm sorry, we wanna, we adjourn. All right, reconvene. Is there a motion to reconvene?
I'll second.
All right, so thank you, trustee Frutos and trustee Chong. And all in favor?
Aye.
All right, I'm an aye. The motion passes the 4-0 vote. The board meeting reconvened at 6:50. And then reporting out of closed session. And let the record reflect that there was no action taken in closed session. So. Adjournment. Do I have a motion to adjourn? Motion. Thank you, trustee Fructos. Do I have a second? Second. Thank you, trustee Estrada. All in favor? Aye. I am a aye. The motion passes with 4-0 vote. The governing board meeting adjourns at 7:51. Oh. 6:51. Excuse me. All right.
Yeah.
Thank you.